Hey, so how's it going? Thought I'd give you a little bit of information about people that are going to jail or prison for the first time, and there is not a handbook on what to expect. They do not give you any notice or preparation. It is pretty rare in the criminal justice system for people to have time to get their affairs in order. It's also very rare for people that are going to jail or prison to have time to really do anything. Pretty much the sheriffs or the marshals or the, whomever come behind you, cuff you up, and it's off to the races. So essentially, I just want to give a couple of minutes about exactly what to expect. So you're going to court, maybe you have a lawyer that's not the greatest, because, in my opinion, anybody that goes into court with a case should know the outcome before they walk in that courtroom. That's when you know you have a really good lawyer. But let's say that you've got a judge that's maybe really difficult, or a case that's difficult, or you've got a jury trial, you lose. Sometimes the jury trials, they will give you a sentencing date, and that will give you time to make preparations. But for someone who's never been to jail or prison, they have no idea what to expect. Now, first, there's a very big difference between jail and prison. Jail is typically on a county level. So, for example, the maximum is typically 2 years in jail. That is a situation where, I don't know, maybe you got a drunk driving charge or two, or you have a larceny charge, an assault charge, ADW that was brought down to assault, one of many things that don't rise to the level of something that would be a sentence over and above 2.5 years time. That being the case, you're going to be doing jail time. And typically, jail time will consist of either going into a mod with 60, 80 inmates, two-man cells, and you'll get your rec time. You'll have a cellmate. You'll get your 3 meals a day that absolutely suck. So you're really going to need somebody to put money in your canteen so that you can have something to eat. You're going to want a radio so you can listen to something. In some jails, they allow you TVs. Those are expensive, but keep in mind, there are always going to be people from the minute you walk in that institution that are going to try to exploit you. They're going to try to get you to give them things. Nothing comes free in jail. You want a haircut? Typically, the jail is supposed to supply that. But the guys that do the haircuts, they want to get tips. So currency is food and items you get from the commissary. So typically, a ramen noodle package might be worth $1. Stamps, I don't know, I got a forever stamp, so it doesn't have a denomination on it. But I think stamps are up to like, what, 85 cents for a stamp. So that's like $1, let's say, we'll round it off. Uh, Honey bun, dollar, maybe more. So these are the currencies that you're going to use in jail to tip the barber if you want something, or you run out of something and you do a 2-for-1. So he says, hey man, I'm really hungry. I want a honey bun. The guy says, all right, I'll give you a honey bun. You give me two when you pay me back. So that's the interest. And you want to be careful when you do that, because again, these guys are going to try to exploit you. And then they have what they call mixes, where everybody throws in some food. They all make some type of cocktail of, cake or whatever the meal of the day is, and they'll put it together and you'll participate in eating it. But again, make sure that you don't get screwed and you get what you put into it. You can get sneakers, but again, people want sneakers. They're going to see you with a new pair of kicks, and they're going to be like, hey, man, where'd you get those? What size do you wear? And they're going to want to try to take those from you. Very important. Somebody tries to get in your face, especially those first few days. Like, I know most people don't want anything to do with it, but you got to go hard and fast. And you got to fight, stick up for yourself. Fights usually happen in the bathrooms for bigger units that are like very, very low security, or they happen in the cells and they happen fast, or out in the yard. Shank fights, stabbings, those are really serious offenses that you'll see like on TV. Corcoran in California, San Quentin in California, Rikers Island in New York. Those are the prisons that are very, very, serious. And when you get into a jam with somebody like that, they're going to have a shank. And typically, the blade's going to be about 6 inches long. And depending upon how many times they nail you and where in your body you get hit, you could get hurt bad. So there are a couple of strategies you can use. You get magazines, newspapers, and you put them in your clothes and cover as much of your torso as you can, so that when they try to stab you, you're going to have a little bit of protection. Thermals are very important. It's always cold in jail. Even in the summer, the air conditioner is usually on full blast, and in the winter, the heat's usually not on high, so you're going to freeze. In the other aspects, as far as medical care, they're going to tell you to go drink water. You're going to say, hey, I'm having chest pains. I think I'm having a heart attack. Go drink water. Hey, you know what? I feel dizzy. I feel like I'm going to collapse. Go drink water. They don't care. Not even a little bit. If you're on medications, they will give you medications, but non-narcotic medications. If you're on benzodiazepines, any type of medicine that might be a pain reliever that's a narcotic, ain't happening. I know most jails and prisons will give you some methadone these days, but they'll give you a rapid detox. Most people that are on those programs know what that is, so be prepared for that. Also, people are going to want to look at your paperwork. They're going to want to see, your paperwork from court, and they're going to want to see the charges that are on it. And even then, they're going to make a phone call to somebody and say, hey, go Google this person, see what they did. And the old adage, rats and rippers. If you snitched on somebody or you molested a woman or a child, you are in for trouble. So I would immediately ask for protective custody for those people that commit those kind of crimes, because that's the last thing you want to deal with. Guards, every one of them is different. My recommendation is just read. You might find one or two people you could trust a little bit, you can hang out with. When you go to your first lunch, you can't even sit at a table until they give you permission, because everybody has their own seat and they keep those seats. So, be aware of your surroundings. And somebody comes and talks to you and starts picking your brain, they are not your friend. They are just trying to find information out about you, and they're going to want to try to determine, what kind of person you are. Can they take advantage of you? Are you a rollover? Can they, exploit you to the fullest? Are they going to be able to blackmail you, get, whatever they can get from you? Because essentially that's what prison is. And for guys that are doing like in a prison, like football numbers, they call it, like 5, 10, 15 lifers. They got nothing to lose. So believe me, if they want to shank you, what are they going to do? Give them another 20, 30 years on top of the, 20 or 30 they're already doing? Like, they're not getting parole. They're not parole eligible. And you're in there maybe doing a 3-year bid for, something stupid, but you got to do it. You want to go home to your family. That's the key. So take programs, stay busy, get your GED if you don't have it, get a vocation, try to get a job. Those are great. Trying to get a job on the mod, working as a porter, something like that, working in the kitchen. Those jobs are always in demand because now you've got flexibility. You can move around, you can eat a little better. But again, be careful. Make sure you guard yourself at all times. You have eyes behind your head. Don't make too many friends. Depending upon politics and geography, it might be the blacks, the whites, and the Hispanics. So you got to be careful about who you align with. And by all means, the number one goal is to get home to your family. So I hope you found this useful. If you have any other questions, any other concerns that might help you, if you're staring at your first incarceration, whether it's a jail or a prison, just DM me and I'll be glad to answer it for you. Thanks.